We are Steve and Jill.
Together, we've been buying and reselling land since the 90s.
Our data-centric approach leaves our buyers asking, how can you sell it so cheap?
Here on the Land Academy Show,
We answer that and more. Steve and Jill here.
hello.
Welcome to the Land Academy Show, entertaining land investment talk. I'm Stephen Jack Butella.
And I'm Jill DeWitt, broadcasting from the Valley of the Sun.
Today is Jill Friday, and she's going to talk about 8 hours a day on the phone.
You know what? For some people, that is horror, right? Some people are like, oh, please don't make me do that. I'll do anything. I'll
That's
flip
me.
burgers.
That's me.
Don't make me be on the phone. And you know what? For other people, 8 hours isn't enough. I'd spend 10.
Before we get into it, let's take a question posted by one of our members on the landinvestors.com online community. It's free.
Herbert wrote. Is it Herbert or Herbert?
Probably Herbert.
Oh, okay, we're going to go with Herbert. Herbert wrote.
Whoever did the script makes a lot of mistakes. Don't
Yeah, I tell you, there's lots of little holes here. Thank goodness we're professional. We can piece this together.
You know what I was thinking, like if in the podcast, if movie credits?
Yeah.
It's like key grip, director, all of that. So if I ever do credits, this is what it's gonna say. Written by Stephen Jack Butella. Produced by Stephen Jack Butella. Starring Stephen Jack Butella and sort of Jill DeWitt.
Oh, thanks.
Produced by, and on and on and on. It's just me, all of it.
Which
Post-production, Stephen Jack Butella staff.
mistakes by Stephen
mistakes
Jack
by-
Butella.
Yep. Imperfections and terribleness, Stephen Jack Butella.
Here we go. Okay, Herbert wrote, hey, have any of you guys helped a seller pay for their probate costs if they couldn't afford it to get the deal done? Assuming the numbers make sense. If so, how'd you go about it? I'd be open to this.
This is a great idea.
I would totally be open to this. I'm trying to think.
Before Jill launches why and with the story, here's why. Because the next person, if you say no, they're not going to go do a probate themselves.
No.
The next person that buys it, or next person that says, hey, I want to buy your property, they're going to have to go through it anyway. Somebody's got to do it, or it's going to just the asset's going to go back to the taxing authority.
No one will get it. Then nobody's happy. And now we're back to negative attention.
You like that, don't you?
Yeah. I'm going to use this all day now.
We didn't talk about it.
Yeah.
Children are packed full of negative attention.
Oh, God, yes.
If they don't get what they want, they'll do anything.
Yep.
They'll take a bowl of spaghetti and throw it at the door.
You know what's funny about that? Back to the negative tension show. We didn't even cover this part. How many people come to you? We had a person reach out to you personally in Discord, not what they wanted, then come to my team, still not get them. Then they get to me, and I'm like, this is stupid. You're pitting mom and dad against each other. Mm-hmm. Don't do that. By the way, don't be that negative attention guy. Thank you. Now I'm done.
The vast majority of the people in Land Academy who come to us already being successful at something else in their life, whether it's a business and they sold it, or they're a successful mechanical engineer for an aerospace company or whatever, we just never hear from them. And then they join Career Path and it's like, oh yeah, I do $7 million a year. And I never heard their name and they've never been on Discord.
Yep.
That's not negative attention. That's the exact opposite.
That's who we want to hang out with.
That's a model.
Isn't that who you want to hang out with?
A model of mental health is what that is.
Model of mental health. All right, and he knows who he is. I wonder if he's going to hear this. That's awesome.
Well, probably doesn't listen to the show.
No, that's true. Yeah, he's above all that. He's too busy. I'm just kidding. All right, so the whole thing about the probate, I certainly coached people and talked to them about it and gave them tips about, so what are we talking about, by the way? What's probate? Let's just say dad died, and in the will, the property's supposed to go to you. You can't just run around and sell it and say, I've got a will in my hand. There's usually, in most states, there are steps to be taken, and in a lot of states, it involves legally passing the property, and it's going through a process called probate to get it from dad's name via the will into your name. So now you own it and you can do whatever you want with it.
There's certain requirements based on what the estate's value is, and they always change depending on, it just changes on a lot. And then the estate itself, in a lot of cases, if it's depending on how it's structured, whether there's trust involved and all of that, has to file a tax return as a legal entity, the way that we file tax returns. So the estate files a tax return, pays its taxes, and then does a distribution to the heirs of the estate. Well, not everybody does this. It's complicated and expensive.
And then there's the best way to do it is an attorney. Usually get an attorney involved, the right guy who does these all day long. This is his thing. And so what I have done in the past, like I'll coach and ask, okay, when Dad died, who helped you guys? Oh, it was Uncle Mark. Uncle Mark's an attorney. Okay, we're calling Uncle Mark. That's what we need to do now. This one slipped through the cracks. We need to get Uncle Mark back in and get this done, kind of thing. Now, so say this is a situation and it's not Uncle Mark, and it's like, okay, no, it was Mr. Wallace. I still have all his paperwork here. And so I will coach them, call Mr. Wallace, see how much it'd be. And then maybe they say, Mr. Wallace says it's $1,000. I don't have it. So this is the situation Herbert's facing. All right, we know it's $1,000 to get this done. It's going to take 3 weeks, whatever it is. He's got it all ready to go. It's just, do I give him $1,000? So what would you do?
Well, it's all in the numbers. Jill's exactly right in the time. So if you have an asset that, what the seller will usually say is, yeah, I'm happy to sell this for $30,000. That's what you offered. I'm happy to sell it to you. It needs a probate situation, and I don't want to go through it, and I don't want to pay for it. If you want to do that, go for it. And so now, probate's a lot more expensive than $1,000. So
I'm just throwing out a random
if the
number.
asset's worth, buy for 30, sell for 90, then you can easily spend a few months or however long it takes and $5,000 to get it done. As long as there's a purchase agreement in place that stipulates, I am selling this property to you, and probably through the attorney that's doing the probate, they need to manage that to make sure they don't change their mind at the end. That's the real fear in all this stuff. It's like, I'm going to go through it. Am I going to get this deal?
You know what I'd do? I would do it. Here's what I would do. And I would think you can get the attorney involved on this. So we're all going to sign something. We're all on the same page. I'm going to buy this property. You're going to help with the probate. Hopefully the attorney can even close the deal too.
Yeah, that's what I think, Jill, exactly. Or they know another attorney.
Right. And then that attorney who does a probate is going to get paid out at the purchase. At the time I'm buying this, because I'm buying it for $30,000.
Great idea.
You like this?
Yep.
So attorney A is going to get paid out at the top point of purchase.
Out of escrow.
Probate's done, out of escrow. On the buy side, you get a couple $1,000, and now I'm only paying $27,000 or whatever it is to the seller. Everybody wins.
Excellent, yeah.
And you feel good about. And then the attorney, by the way, that attorney doing the probate is going to make sure this gets done because his money's tied up in it too.
So literally the probate's closed and the deal closes at the same time.
And now you own it and it's done.
And then you go free to make your $60,000.
Exactly.
Or 55 in this case.
Exactly. Glad we had this talk.
Today's Deal Friday. Me too. 8 hours a day on the phone. This is the meat of the show.
It's true. You know what I told you? I think this came from the other day. Correct me if I'm wrong. Because you and I were in my office and we were talking about something. And you're like, but wait a minute. You don't want to do this. You don't want to do that. You don't want to do this. I'm like, hold on a moment. And I said, actually, I do. I like it. Bring me the calls. Let me handle it. I said, here's where I get hung up. As long as I have somebody right here where I can hang up the phone and go, make that happen.
So that's Jill's thing.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's got a thing.
Yep.
And she has a woman named Jan who just does all the work. Yep. And so Jill knows, she befriends the person, negotiates the deal, gets a purchase agreement signed, and hands it over.
And then I'm out.
Because we've all done all of it. Then it's like, all right, she just wants to go make another call.
Yeah, I'll get more deals. Yeah, and that's what's great about that's what I'm good at. You don't want me bogged down with paperwork and opening escrow and getting this done and that done and sending DocuSigns all over the place. You don't want me doing that. That's not good use of my time. You want me on the phone working on the next
Making
one.
deals, creating real estate deals.
And the next one. So that's my happy space. And that's why I said, as long as I have that person and I do, or that team and I do, I have an amazing team, not just on the land companies.
I learned a lot about that conversation about you.
Oh, thank you.
And about
that's funny.
This episode, because
you thought I hated it. Like I just struggled. I'm like, no, I actually like it.
You just don't want to, you want to do stuff that you want to do.
Yeah.
Like, I have no problem doing mailers
deals
and directing all that and doing the data and finding new places to send mail and pricing stuff and all of that. I actually enjoy it.
Well, that's
I could do it on Sunday.
Yeah. So not only within our land companies, but within Land Academy and House Academy, I've got an amazing team that I can just talk, make deals, negotiate stuff, get better contracts for data prices. Who knows? Fill in the blank. Work on the thing that you're working on. I don't know if you want to say it, but
Car Academy?
Yeah, you did. Yeah. So work on the data for Car Academy. I'm happy to. Now, do I want to sit and, then now that, wait for the contracts and do this and do that?
I'll do all that.
That's what I'm trying to say. We're saying the same thing. As long as I have the team and support to do the other stuff, put me in, coach. I'll be on the phone 10 hours a day because that's fun for me. It really is. I know some people, it wears them out. Me, it gets I get jacked up. I mean, sure, there's days that after a while I'm like, okay, now I'm a little tired. But it doesn't mean it was a bad day. It means like, whew, it was a lot. I talked to a lot of people. I used to, and if you've had these positions or you're in this position, you know what I'm talking about. Making 85 and 100 outbound calls a day, piece of cake. That's not hard. And people look at me like, what?
Let me say this, and this is really why I wrote this title. If you are not on the phone the vast majority of the time,
yes, ding ding,
you are not going to do a lot of real estate deals.
Correct.
If you're like me, that's just not an option. I'm not going to do it. I would have when I was younger, and I did do it when I was younger, and it worked because I would do anything when I was younger to get rich, right. Quite honestly, within reason. But if you're older and you're not going to do this, or you're going to get burned out after doing it for 2 weeks, you have to find somebody to do this for you, or this will not work.
Right.
For some reason, I would rather have you not join Land Academy than join, send out a bunch of mail, and wonder why it doesn't work. And so I'm being really straight here. You have to have somebody on the phone working these deals.
It's true.
Working them and working them and working them. 8 hours a day would be good. If I sent out 50,000 mailers, I just had this conversation because we have a business partner on some of the deals that we do. And I said to him, if Jill answers the phone, because we just reviewed the whole mailer. He did the mailer. I reviewed it. We're testing it. And I'm looking at it, and it's like, I'm looking at it like with dollar signs in my eyes and in pure admiration for all this group that we have. Mm-hmm. And I said, if we have Jill answer the phone on this, we'll probably pull $500,000 out of this mailer. Mm-hmm. And he's like, really? And so you should be launching a mailer having that same feeling, like I've got a superstar. Yeah. I have a superstar. Maybe it's yourself, superstar answering the phone. Mm-hmm. To create these real estate deals. These people call you back. They want to sell their land. Yeah. They don't want it. No. They might not be happy with the price. Yeah. They might be unhappy with themselves for paying too much when they bought it. Yeah. Maybe they're so disappointed they were going to retire there and some stuff happened in their life. So it's not necessarily that they're mad at you and your price. They're just disappointed. Mm-hmm. And Jill can solve that.
Thank you.
And does solve it. You need somebody on the phone for hours and hours and hours a day. Full time, probably. Mm-hmm. I don't think that I communicate that.
No, I don't. No, because people know that you don't talk on the phone, and they know that we don't let you talk on the phone. So they go, I want to be Jack. Like, hold on a moment. You're just not going to be successful. That's the whole point. You got to work these deals. You got to work them.
A lot of people are saying, maybe you should stop being in this podcast too. Maybe you just stand behind Jill.
Maybe we just don't let Jack talk. Leave it at that. Just take off that on the phone.
Turn around so we can see the back of your head. And then Jill just talks.
That's hilarious. It's good. Thank you. Happy you could join us today. 5 days a week. You can find us here on the Land Academy Show.
Join us next week for another interesting episode. You are not alone in your real estate ambition.
The back of your head. What the heck?
That would just lead to maybe you should just get out of the shot entirely.
That is so darn funny. Hey, I'm going to end it on this today. Don't forget, it's in, what are we right now? I don't know. And there, let's just say, coming up very shortly, there's going to be an awesome 4th of July special going on. So if you've been thinking about it and you need that little push to join Land Academy, you're like, boy, if I can get a little money off here, I'd be in. Then don't worry, it's coming. Get on our email list by getting the ebook off landacademy.com or houseacademy.com, and you will be notified when it goes live for 4th of July.
We are Jack and Jill. Information
and inspiration
to buy undervalued property.
We hope you found our content valuable and we appreciate your support. If you have not already, please check out our channel and hit the subscribe button.
And your comments and suggestions help us to create the content you're here for. Hitting the like button helps to support our channel's algorithm and gauge your interest for future shows.